Hello and welcome to CTV News Across Canada for Thursday, February 12th. We've got the top local stories from coast to coast, stories that affect you and the country. Thanks for joining us.
The flag is at half-mast outside the town hall in Tumbler Ridge as this small community grieves the unimaginable.
This is a deeply distressing incident.
9 people, including the shooter, are dead. Approximately 25 others were injured. Police say the killer was Jesse Van Roostelaar.
I can say that Jesse was born as a biological male who approximately, the information that I have, approximately 6 years ago began to transition to female and identified as female both socially and publicly.
Mounties say she killed her mother, Jennifer Strang, and sibling Emmett at their home first. Van Roostelaar then went to the school where the rampage continued.
Upon arrival, there was active gunfire, and as officers approached the school, rounds were fired in their direction. Officers entered the school to locate the threat. Within minutes, an individual confirmed to be the shooter was located deceased with what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
The situation terrifying for students in the school and for their parents.
The alert went out, and at that point we realized this was very serious, and we took tables and put them against the doors to make it difficult for anyone that had tried to enter forcefully.
I called him and got him on the phone, and for 2.5 hours kept him on the phone with me just to know that he was okay. There were a lot of tense moments when he was on the phone with me of not knowing because he had to be quiet.
2 firearms, a long gun and a modified handgun, were recovered by responding officers.
Police say Van Roostelaar was someone they had encountered before.
Police had attended that residence on multiple occasions over the past several years, dealing with concerns of mental health with respect to our suspect. I can say that on different occasions, the suspect was apprehended for assessment and follow-up.
Mounties also saying they had attended the home a couple years ago where firearms were seized, but the lawful owner petitioned for the guns and they were returned. RCMP saying that the shooter previously had a gun license, but that it expired in 2024. She did not have any firearms legally registered to her. There are, of course, many unanswered questions tonight. Police still trying to figure out the motive for these killings, which have left a community forever changed. Mi Jung?
Michelle Bernaro reporting live tonight from RCMP headquarters in Surrey.
Flags outside Vaughan City Hall and in several cities across the GTA have been lowered to half-mast, a solemn gesture of collective grief following tragedy in Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia.
To the parents, the grandparents and siblings who woke up without someone they love, Toronto mourns with you. We want to wrap your entire community in love, not just today, but in all the days ahead.
As families try to understand why someone would open fire inside a local high school, parents are having to talk to their children about what happened.
It's about creating space to have the conversations, to answer their questions. And if you don't know the answer, to say, I'll get back to you when I have a little bit more information with that. Everyone is going to be impacted by this, and it's very important that we pay attention to the needs of children.
The Elementary Teachers of Toronto is sharing this message. Schools are places of belonging and safety. They are where children come to learn and where a community comes to grow. Violence has no place within their walls. Kids Help Phone has created resources for both youth and adults to cope with this tragedy. This includes professional phone counseling, interpretation services in over 100 languages.
People might be scared, feel helpless, there's grief, maybe they're angry. That's something that our team can really help with, is talking young people through what it is that they're feeling and how they can cope with that.
The entire country has been shaken by this mass shooting in a small community in northeastern BC. The Toronto Blue Jays have strong ties to the province as their High A affiliate team play in Vancouver. The organization releasing a statement reading in part, "We stand with you in support during this time of unbearable grief and mourning." That message echoed by Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, adding, "May you feel the love and support from Canadians coast to coast as we grieve together in the wake of this terrible tragedy." When I spoke with Kids Help Phone, they asked that I share their contact information on our newscast this evening. And so their phone number is 1-800-668-6868, or you can text the word connect to 686868. Reporting live, I'm Raheem Ladani. Michelle, back to you.
Thank you, Raheem.
It was eerily quiet on the campus of Mount Allison University this morning while a heavy police presence patrolled the school. The campus was shut down due to a concerning message discovered Monday that referenced February 11, 2026.
Yeah, it's kind of scary just to think that something's going on. No, nothing like this has ever happened before. Yeah, no, I'm actually kind of, very surprised that something like this would happen.
I know some people who have gone to Moncton or gone to other places because they're scared. I think the university did the right thing in closing the schools.
Neither the school or the RCMP would reveal what the concerning message was, but police do not believe there is any concern for public safety. CTV News made several requests to interview someone from the university, but no one from Mount Allison was made available to talk about the situation here. A statement from Mount Allison University says the safety and well-being of the school community is its highest priority. The closure was taken out of an abundance of caution, as the written message was ambiguous but referenced a specific date. Many students had the school shooting tragedy on the other side of the country on their minds today.
We weren't sure what to make of it. A lot of us just kind of found each other after class and were discussing what we thought it was. I think especially with the news this morning about the one in BC that it's a lot scarier.
I got an email saying that the entire school was shut down, and they kind of just threw me for a loop. And then earlier today I actually just heard about the school shooting that happened in BC, and it's crazy.
The campus will remain closed tomorrow and Friday. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Sackville, New Brunswick.
This home in Kitigan Zibi, the scene of tragedy.
Young children whose life was ahead of them are lost. And there was not much we could do to help because we were not there was no signal put out that there was a problem.
Police say 2 children, a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old, were shot and killed by their father in a suspected murder-suicide early Wednesday morning.
Upon arrival, one of the 3 individuals had died, and the other 2 were transported to the hospital, where they were pronounced dead.
Sûreté du Québec is now leading the investigation, working alongside local police. Kitigan Zibi Anishinaabe Chief Jean-Guy Whiteduck identifying the 41-year-old father as Randy Tolley.
He lived outside for a period of time also, but I don't know a lot about his personal life. I would be in a difficult position to really make any comment. I know he had some issues with the law in the past.
A neighbor who did not want to appear on camera tells CTV News the father was very private and he kept to himself for years. Shortly after the horrific incident, Gatineau MP Stephen McKinnon expressing his condolences.
It's just an unbelievable thing to wake up to. I know that community very well. My thoughts go out to the chief, all the members of that community.
Prime Minister Mark Carney also writing on social media, "Our prayers are with the victims and all those who loved them," adding government officials are in contact with local authorities to ensure the people of the community receive every support we can provide following this heartbreaking loss.
The community is there, and we're really encouraging the community to stand together, stand strong, and support each other in these difficult times.
Quebec Premier François Legault also taking to social media today, saying he is deeply saddened by what happened overnight, and he offered his condolences as well to the Anishinaabe Nation, the family members and loved ones of the victims. Patricia.
CTV's Austin Lee live for us tonight. Thank you.
A Winnipeg father is questioning the care provided to his infant son after the 6-month-old died at Children's Hospital.
We never get through this.
Lou Tang says his son Luca was born in July with a condition where his esophagus does not connect to his stomach. Luca required several procedures to stretch and widen the esophagus.
Mom thinks this baby bright as hope for our life and brightness like sunshine.
But in mid-January, following his 8th procedure, Tang noticed something was wrong and took Luca to Children's ER.
He has some problem with drinking, very uncommon, coughing, choke,
Tang says at the hospital they discovered a hole in Luca's esophagus, potentially a complication from the last procedure. He says his vital signs were being monitored, but Tang says Luca was not doing well and he was alerting staff at the hospital. And then 10 hours from when they first arrived, his dad says Luca was rushed into emergency surgery and did not survive. Tang believes if he'd gotten care earlier, Luca would still be alive.
I fully trust them. I just keep telling them the vital is not good.
Manitoba's health minister says proper protocols were followed for a case like Luca's, but a critical incident review has been ordered.
We also need to understand if there was an opportunity here that the health team can learn from moving forward. I know that they are following protocol specific to the condition that this child has.
And a shared health physician says the day Luca was at Children's ER, staffing was at full capacity and beds were available.
When the infant presented to the emergency department, the triaging protocols or processes were appropriately followed.
Now, as for that critical incident review, a preliminary report is set to come back within 30 days, a full report within 90 days.
All right, thanks for this, Jeff.
Shattered glass and drops of blood. That's all that remains outside this nail salon Wednesday following a chaotic night. CCTV footage from inside McLeod Nail Lounge around 9:40 p.m. Tuesday shows bullets piercing through front windows and lodging inside the front desk. About 17 shots rang out.
I feel very shocked because a lot of business here is maybe impact us a lot because we have customer every day, customer coming like this, we have to close the business.
Lindsay Garrett owns the neighboring business.
I think we're just really lucky that we weren't hit.
Police were called to a parking lot in the 7,000 block of McLeod Trail outside the Cactus Club Cafe. A man had just left the restaurant and was sitting in this black Audi SUV and was shot several times.
We did have some bystanders and there were some staff that did render some first aid.
The victim was taken to hospital in critical condition. He is now stable. Police say this shooting is linked to organized crime.
The individuals that we do know that are involved are known to police. It is very early on to say exactly what the motives or the incident leading up to the shooting actually was.
Derek Starlight was in his hotel room next door when everything unfolded.
Well, we were watching television and all of a sudden we heard gunshots, multiple, like at least 9 or 10 gunshots.
He says he had trouble sleeping after police remained on scene for much of the night.
I was watching the news about the gunshots in BC and it's starting to get frightening up here in Canada.
Bullet holes could be seen scattered across the front of McLeod Nail Lounge, and for some, this crime comes as a shock.
This area seems pretty safe, like with Chinook Mall right there and everything else, so it is a little surprising for sure.
But police are thankful bystanders were not caught in the line of fire.
We feel quite concerned when we feel like we're banking on luck in these kind of situations, so definitely any one shooting in the city is not acceptable by our standards.
A Windsor City Councillor is urging residents to rethink how they get across the border.
If you have the ability to choose between the Ambassador Bridge or the Windsor-Detroit Tunnel, choose the tunnel.
Ward 7 Rep. Angelo Marignani's not going so far as to call for a boycott, but he, like many, isn't happy in the wake of New York Times reporting, saying sources were briefed on a meeting between Ambassador Bridge owner Matthew Maroon and U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, not long before Trump took to social media threatening to block the opening of the Gordie Howe Bridge.
I was in shock, but then you started hearing how the Maroon family actually lobbied to get this done, and that information then came forward, and that sort of sparked this.
In a media availability Tuesday, Michigan Congresswoman Debbie Dingell also saying she was told the meeting between Maroon and Lutnick took place, though the White House has declined to comment. Former Michigan Governor Rick Snyder, who helped negotiate the original agreement for the new crossing, says delay only benefits one player.
The Maroons are the only party that benefits from delaying the bridge. They make a lot more money at the expense of Canadian and American consumers and everyone else that would benefit with the new bridge being opened.
Snyder notes the Maroon family has opposed the Gordie Howe Bridge since the very beginning, including issuing a string of legal challenges aimed at stopping it.
So it's clear they found someone to talk to. I don't know if it was Lutnick or someone else, but they got someone to go talk to the president and give him bad information.
Windsor's mayor saying this is a unique quirk of having an international crossing held in private hands.
I get it. His job is to do what's right for his businesses and his crossing. My job as mayor is to protect my community and the people who live here. And so I'll do my job. He will do his job.
CTV News has reached out to the Ambassador Bridge Company for comment from Matthew Maroon, but did not hear back by deadline. Mayor Gnani sits on the tunnel board at City Hall and points out the city owns the Windsor half of the tunnel and benefits financially from its use. So if you are still crossing the border, he says, consider supporting local with your toll money. Michelle.
All right, thanks so much for this tonight. Travis Fortnum reporting for us in the newsroom.
Carl Malenfant showed up with a luggage cart of documents and information, prepared to tell his story of what happened with SAAQclic. Malenfant is the former Vice President of Information Technology at the SAAQ.
Today, my objective was to show you the SAAQ story. Okay, and it's not my story, it's the story of the exec who was in this process of SAAQ transformation.
Malenfant has been at the center of what's known as the SAAQclic fiasco. Despite admitting there were issues, he disputes the use of the word fiasco.
A fiasco means nothing work. It's a definition. It's work. We have difficulty. The go live number 2 was difficult. It's true. We have explanation now why, but when I hear that we put $1 billion in the river, it's false. It's work.
The SAAQclic digital transformation turned disastrous in 2023, with many people stuck waiting hours outside of SAAQ locations. But then came the Auditor General's report into cost overruns, and eventually the Gallant Commission to try and figure out what went wrong. Malenfant has faced a lot of scrutiny over his handling of the digital transformation, and he says he's the victim of a character assassination.
Why? There is a public commission on Carl Malenfant.
For about 2 hours, Malenfant explained what he says is his side of the story. He presented what he calls his 8 pillars of truth. Ultimately, he says a lot of people were involved in the project.
I was not alone accountable because I had around me 44 managers to help me to manage all this project.
Malenfant says he is facing 48 notices of blame from the Gallant Commission. He refutes all of them. The Gallant Commission will release its report on Monday. Matt Grillo, CTV News.
It smells like burnt rubber when it.
It's a bad day for anyone when the washing machine goes down.
I thought I would just do a quick Google search to make an appointment with them. Searched Waterloo Appliance, first thing that came up, thought it was their website, clicked on it.
For Esther Slavinsky of Waterloo, she thought her luck turned around when she got a same-day repair scheduled.
I happen to have a friend at home with me, and we see a vehicle pull up into the driveway, but it's just a Navy car.
Slavinsky's day was about to go from bad to worse, if not for her attentive friend.
It's not marked with any business name on it, and my friend Maria immediately says to me, "Who did you book?" And I said, Waterloo Appliance, and she said, "Oh my goodness, did you not see the CTV News report?"
The CTV report in question from last month details how people think they are calling Waterloo Appliance service, but due to a well-placed sponsored Google ad, they're actually calling the appliance repair team.
They Google our name, they'll get the top 5 or 6 sponsored ads, and they'll see a name that's close to ours that isn't ours.
So I quickly called them just to confirm that this was their guy. And sure enough, the admin said, "No, we didn't send anyone to you today."
Slavinsky sent the technician from the appliance repair team away before he could begin his work.
He did come back 10 minutes later with a bill for the $80 for the service call. But in further looking into the news report, I feel very lucky that I didn't have him come and look at my appliance.
But yeah, so this is the beast.
Joy Huggins of Waterloo was not so lucky.
I run a rescue, which takes tons of towels and blankets that we're always doing a wash. constantly.
With a house full of animals, Joy goes through a lot of laundry.
So the same day service is what got me, because I have to keep doing the wash, like, continually.
According to Huggins, when the technician arrived, alarm bells went off right away.
I said, why are you in your car? And I said, I was expecting a truck or a van with, your name on it.
She says after the $80 charge just to show up, it was another $290 to look at her washing machine.
I walked away for a few minutes and then came back like 5 minutes later, and he was all done. He was all done. And I went, what? You $290? Wow. He said, yep.
According to Huggins, not only was the washing machine not fixed, but it was worse off than before.
I was frustrated because I knew something was up, but I didn't quite think this.
Joy and Esther are not alone in their frustration with the appliance repair team. According to the Better Business Bureau, they have a long track record.
So for the 3-year period, BBB has received 755 complaints against this business. They have an F rating with us.
The BBB say what happened to Joy and Esther is in line with the 700-plus complaints they have received.
Specifically, consumers are alleging that the company is unable to properly diagnose and repair the appliance effectively, and that there's a lack of follow-up and resolution to those issues, and the cost of the parts are grossly inflated.
Their advice is straightforward. Before booking a call, do some research.
So I can't stress enough to consumers, research first. Check, come to us, see what our files are indicating.
Joy and Esther both agree it's a tough way to learn a lesson.
But it does make me think twice about letting someone into my home without seeing identification and credentials, and a service vehicle is helpful in that.
We reached out to the appliance repair team on several occasions over the last week, but did not hear back.
And in our original story, we spoke directly with the local reputable company, Waterloo Appliance Service. They told us they get calls nearly every day about this issue, and they are very eager to see something done about the issue.
This quarter section of farmland just outside Regina city limits could become the site of a major AI data center. It's located about 1 kilometer south of the Sask Polytechnic campus. The request to rezone the property for a data center campus has been filed with the RM of Sherwood. The application comes from a numbered company with letters of support saying it is part of the Bell AI Fabric project announced in 2025. Bell is the parent company of CTV News. According to documents filed with the RM, the project would be built in stages, consisting of multiple low-rise buildings totaling 500,000 square feet. The application states that the facilities will support universities, healthcare, public sector services, and Canadian businesses with secure made-in-Canada computing capacity, helping to keep sensitive data and innovation within the country. Both Sask Polytech and the University of Regina see partnership opportunities, while the City of Regina views it as economic development.
I think it's a very exciting opportunity, and I know those types of, just coming from some of that area, I know the location can be very specific to the utilities and those types of things that are required, but I see it as an exciting thing nearby.
The proposal calls for creation of 300-plus parking stalls, which suggests a large high-tech workforce. The application calls for work to begin later this year. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.